Shabbat Shalom. Call Elohim wa Kabbalah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Aruchak Dub honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners. Now, I originally wasn't going to do a response to this video in which different brothers did responses to. This one is elder apostle Gabar. He did this yesterday, where Yahweh Shai have an automatic weapon dangling around his neck, representing the ministry. Now, I'm not sure what camp, like where in Babylon, this camp, um, you know, go out. But I know this is definitely the Sakari, and we already know their stance on, you know, being able to, carry weapons and have weapons on them at camp. Very carnal organization, and it's nothing new under the sun because, you know, Sakari of old, that's how they lived. They were real carnal men. They were self-willed, and they really believed that they had a shot at taking down, the Roman Empire. And they were the cause of those wars that took place, and it resulted in, the abomination of desolation, part two, where the Roman armies besieged us and ransacked the temple, killed a lot of Israelites, starved a lot of them out, all behind this war that they started because they didn't want to pay taxes. They didn't want to render to Caesar what is Caesar's. So got the same souls back here today playing their role. So you can't even be mad at these dudes, and it's gonna play out the same way, 'cause they didn't win that. Yeah, they kind of was getting with the Roman armies in the beginning, but at the end of it, a lot of them were put to death or they were scattered, and a lot of Israelites, they were put to death, and those were the days of trouble at that time. But we coming into the days of trouble now, and the Romans, the Roman Empire is a lot stronger now than it was 2,000 years ago. This devil now, his technology is advanced, so we wouldn't dare try to go against this devil with a damn assault rifle or a damn shotgun or a pistol. That's not gonna work. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, what's more powerful? What will be more powerful? An AR-15, you know, you know, an AK, shotgun, pistol, you know, basically all these carnal weapons. What's more powerful, that or an angel of the Lord's presence, a ministering spirit? See, that's why the scriptures say the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. You cannot please the Most High as long as you're in the flesh. All right. When the Lord ain't dealing with carnality, and even Apostle Paul said the weapons of our warfare is not carnal, but spiritual. So you having a very carnal mindset is only going to get you carnal results. All right. They that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are of the spirit, the things of the spirit, man. See? And I believe it's also a scripture that say, he that soweth to his flesh shall reap of the flesh corruption. So having that gun toting demon on you, that's only going to cause destruction, because the Lord even told Peter after he cut off the ear of Malchus, he said, "Put up thy sword, for he that live by the sword shall perish with the sword," because that's of the flesh. We're dealing with the Lord's divinity, man. That's where our power lies at. Power that comes from heaven. And when you feel like you gotta guard yourself with carnal weapons, you don't believe that there's a divine presence around you. All right. Now here's a scripture that we should know off top, and we're supposed to believe it. This is Psalms 34 and verse 7. It says, "The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them." All right, and let's get these other translations, which makes it even more plain. NLT, it says, "For the angel of the Lord is a guard. He surrounds and defends all who fear him." Because the angels, they're ministering spirits, they actually are servants. So if you're of the elect and you're doing what you're supposed to do, the angel of the Lord's presence, he's definitely in the midst, and he's making sure that he guides you. We always read Psalms, the 91st chapter, where it says that the Lord will give angels charge over us to lead us, in the way, you know. So you ain't got to worry about evil, coming towards you, man. So you got to be a very frightful individual to feel that you have to protect yourself by carnal means. All right. What about the Lord's divine, spirit? What about his ministering spirits? You see? So let's go from there real quick. Since I mentioned it, let's go to Psalms 91, and we're gonna go down to verse 11. I'll start at verse 9. It says, "Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways." Let's see what those other translations say. It says, "For he will order his angels," this is the NLT, "to protect you wherever you go." NIV, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." ESV, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." CSB, "For he will give his angels orders concerning you to protect you in all your ways." So we have divine protection, man. All right, as long as you're doing righteousness, and it even tells you that in the was that the 125th chapter, and it says in Psalms 125:3, "For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity." So then, when you start to backslide and go down the demon rabbit hole, and you depart from your Maker, that's when you lose that hedge, and now you're open to Satan and any kind of evil. You won't be defended. You won't be protected. If you lose patience, the Lord said He will not defend you. All right. It says, "Do good, O Yahweh, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. As for such, turn aside unto their crooked ways. The Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel." All right. So as long as you're doing righteously, the Lord already have a angel of His presence around you. All right. And all His prophets, they had divine protection from the angels. Daniel and the lion's den. We talk about the three holy children when they was in the fiery furnace. You had the fourth individual. It was like they described him as what? As the Son of Man and an angel. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shai himself was an angel. All right, going back to the beginning. What do you think kept Pharaoh's armies off our ass, when we fled, when we retreated from them, and they was on us. They hopped on them chariots and horses and chased us down. Who you think kept us? It's like it kept them off our ass. It was an angel of the Lord's presence, man. Real quick, let's go to Zechariah 12, because the Lord said He's going to defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and we know that Jerusalem represents the people, and we're in the midst of Jerusalem right now. Actual city of Jerusalem is filled with heathens right now, so we know it ain't talking about over there. The Lord's presence is with His chosen. And in that day, when the enemy come in like a flood, when Esau finally, goes for it and comes at the men of the Lord, this is what the Lord said He would do. This is Zechariah 12. I'll start at verse 7. It says, "The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first." And that's why the Spirit opened up and woke Judah up first. When this truth came out, it was mainly Judah that came in, and then Judah, all right, went out there and taught and prophesied, and the other tribes start to assemble and come in. So the Lord saved the tents of Judah first. It says that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. All right, and we know according to the prophecy that um, Judah shall not vex Ephraim, and Ephraim shall not envy Judah. Judah will always get that praise. Plus that was the chosen tribe that the Lord descended out of, sprang right out of Judah, man. So continuing on, it says, "In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem." Let's look up that word defend. Are we going to defend ourselves? We're going to have mounted weapons on us, or is the Lord going to defend us? The word is ganan, and it says to defend, cover, surround. To defend, a primitive root, to hedge about, i.e., generally protect. So the Lord's going to hedge us, man. And right now, like when we hold camp, we know that demons are active out there. Every time we out there on the highways and byways, we know the spirits are active. They out there. They make their presence known. We be getting into certain topics, and we be going strong, and the brothers getting edified, and lo and behold, here comes Satan, manifesting himself through the demons. They hop on random people, crackheads, bums, or just a sodomite or whatever, walk by and just start bugging out. They don't even know why they bugging out. They just start doing it, and we'll realize, yep, there you go. Because they know that what presence is in the midst of us, man. But whether they go across the street, or they're like distance away from the camp, where they'll sometimes they'll mouth off or get loud and start cussing. But as soon as they get closer to the camp, they get quiet. They don't say nothing, or or they'll try to they'll act like they were violent, but then when they get close to the camp, they'll start saying, you know, hey, the president, they'll start saying biblical things and stuff, and the average person be like, what the hell? But we understand this is all spiritual. Even if Jake want to get violent and try to come attack us, it don't never get too far. And then it may not be the same for every camp, but I know as far as our camp, we'll have some type of encounter, with demons, and then a brother will look up and notice, there's a couple chariots in the sky, man. And then that the brothers that standing on the outside looking, and they see it, and they faith gets comforted. They faith gets built up in those type of moments. It's all edifying. So we understand and we know the divine presence of the Lord is around us, man. All right. So let's go back out and let's read it again. Because the Lord's gonna basically he's gonna divinely protect his men and ultimately magnify them. All right, this is Zechariah 12 and 8. It says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And we know David was a straight up mighty man, all right? And he had a crew of mighty men, all right, that was skilled in war, that had ultimate strength, and that can put thousands of men to flight. The Lord said, he that is feeble, meaning weak among you, short stature, weak, frail, it's gonna be as David, man. And David was in good condition. As the house of David shall be as the Alahayim. So we're gonna have that divine force among us in that day. Right now we're being protected, but eventually the Lord's gonna give us the strength of what's protecting us. And that's that power, man. As the angel of the Lord before them, this is far beyond the protection of a freaking AR-15, man, assault rifle. All right, there's angels you don't see, and they stand in guard because we're under ultimate witness protection. Because we have the testimony of Yahushua and we're cussing this devil out. All right, we're testifying against him of his kingdom going down. All right, so let's real quick. I like to get the other translations to see just how they read. NLT, it says, on that day, the Lord will defend the people of Jerusalem. The weakest among them will be as mighty as King David. All right, the Lord taught his hands how to war, man. All right, he broke was it iron? With his arm. He leaped high walls, and the royal descendants will be like the power, like the angel of the Lord who goes before them. Hey, dealing with the angels. All right, every time the angels went out before us, man, we got a lot of victories, a lot of bodies dropped. All right, let's get an example of that. Let's go to we're gonna start with Moses, of course. We're gonna go to Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63. Yeah, I'll start at verse 7. We know the Lord's gonna bring vengeance to Esau and these other nations, especially when they, lift their finger to us, because we're the apple of the Lord's eye, man. Isaiah 63 verse 7 says, I will mention the loving kindness of the Lord and the praises of the Lord Yahweh, according to all that the Lord Yahweh have bestowed upon us, and the great goodness toward the house of Israel, which he have bestowed on them according to his mercies, and according to the multitude of his loving kindness. For he said, surely they are my people, children that will not lie, so he was their savior. In all their affliction he was afflicted, and the angel of his presence saved them. All right. Who was that angel of his presence that saved our people? That was Yahushai, who was in that cloud, the pillar of fire by night and the cloud by day. That was who was among us. So Pharaoh and his armies couldn't do a damn thing. All right, the Lord terrorized their ass, man, for his people. It says, in his love and in his pity, he redeemed them and he bare them and carried them all the days of old. You see? So we had a divine presence, all right, that led us. All right, let's go to Exodus 23, and it says, "Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared." All right, so he's gonna keep us in the way. Beware of him and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and right now, Yahweh Shai is who we obey. And the Lord, his voice appeared out of that cloud in the heavens, and basically said, this is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Right? So if we obey Yahweh Shai and do all that he spoke, it says, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. So when you got a problem, hey, the Lord, he got that already covered. He already got that handled. All right, brothers be setting them up when opposition, vexes brothers and brothers send them up, and judgment usually strikes, man. Sometimes it might be immediate, sometimes, a little time go by and a brother is able to find out. All right, all I know is I'd rather have the Lord, I'd rather be on the Lord's good side. I'd rather have him, be an ally than an enemy. Because that's you're not gonna win against that kind of power, man. The Lord is he's terrible and he's mighty. So this is way more powerful than having a damn gun, a firearm, most definitely. And even Paul said, I mean not Paul, King David said, "I will not trust in my bow." Let's go to Psalms 44. Psalms 44. I'm gonna start at the top. It says, "To the chief musician for the sons of Korah. We have heard with our ears, O power, our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days and in the times of old." And that's why what's that in the book of Sirach, where it says I'm trying to remember how it's worded, but basically the scripture says that when you look to the generations of old and see, did anybody that ever trusted in the Lord, were they ever confounded? Anybody that abided in his fear, was they ever abandoned? So we have a solid report of what the Lord did for us in the days of old towards the righteous men. But apparently Jake, they really don't believe, man. Jake don't have faith like that. All right. Jake talking about underground underground railroads like Harriet Tubman. Jake believing their guns, all type of stuff, man. Jake ain't ready for it, man. They just ain't. They're not really ready to see the Lord like activate his divine presence in the earth. We're gonna see some mighty stuff, man. They not ready for that. A gun ain't gonna suffice. I'm telling y'all that right now, man. Stockpiling weapons, food, that's not gonna suffice. An underground railroad or some secret passageway underground, that's not gonna suffice. All right. Verse 2, it says, "How thou didst drive out the heathen with thine hand, and plantest them, how thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did they their own arm save them." Mm. Talking about when we went into the land of Canaan. We went out before them. The Lord sent some hornets, some killer hornets, man. And we went and we tore their asses up. They didn't do it by their own power, their own strength. We always had divine power from the Lord. It says, but thy right hand and thine arm, the Lord's divine protection, in which also ultimately Yahweh Shai sits at his right hand, and he's, praying that the Lord keeps us from evil. So we don't need to. I mean, that alone is enough, man. The Lord's words is not enough. Him being an advocate and praying to the Father to keep us from evil. That's not enough. You still need a gun because you don't really believe. It says, in the light of thy countenance, because thou has a favor unto them. Thou art my king, O power, command deliverances for Jacob. Though he will, it's like you through thee will we punish, it's like you push down our enemies. Through thy name we will tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. All right, so hey, there's no trust with that. That's why we don't go out with it. Now, if you happen to have one and you got it at home and you might need it for the purpose of, protecting your family, an intruder or a burglar or something like that, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not even a sin to even have a sword. But thinking that you're gonna stay protected, that like basically that's your ultimate protection, and you fully trust in it, you're gonna do you're not gonna last long. All right. And what if the Lord requires your soul anyway? It will be nothing you can do. If the Lord wants you to die by sickness, there's no amount of herbs that you'll be able to take to prevent death. If the Lord wants to take you out by the sword, there's no weapon that you can pick up that's going to protect you from that type of judgment. It's going to happen either way if it's meant for you. All right. But if the Lord wants to keep you protected and He doesn't want you to go out that way, even if you are being targeted by the sword, the Lord make a way and deliver you from the sword, because unto Him belong the issues from death. Somebody might fire at you and not a bullet touch you. All right. And that's divine. That's not that has nothing to do with you. Verse 7, it says, but thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. Okay. So let's go from there to Psalms 33 and 16. And it says, there is no king saved by the multitude of an host, meaning an army, because Jake like to be deep. Hey, we deep as fuck, man. Hey, them niggas is thick, you know. And can't nobody fuck with these niggas. They deep. Jake coming to the club and they got about 30, 40 niggas with them. So, you just untouchable. Oh man, not even a king is saved by the multitude of an army. He could lose majority of his army and even his own life. Nebuchadnezzar thought he could never be brought down, and the Lord brought him down. And then his son Belshazzar reigned, and then he got proud, and the Lord had to remind him through Daniel about his father. You only got it the way you got it because the Lord granted it to you, because the Lord rules in the kingdom of men. But he also prophesied that he would be taken down. All right, your kingdom is finished. It's going to be overtaken by the Persians and the Medes. They got next now. Your army, that used to be mighty, it was able to take down Egypt and Assyria and all these different lands. Well, the Persians are even more mightier, and they finna take you down. All right, the Medes, you had Cyrus, and then Darius, and the king of Babylon at that time couldn't be saved. It says, a mighty man is not delivered by much strength. An horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. It's all about the Lord and his mercy. All right. And the Lord magnifying his hand. Let's go from there and let's go to Hosea. Because when we were delivered out of Babylon, it wasn't by our own that we was delivered out of Babylon. The Lord used Cyrus and Darius. First, it was with Cyrus, and the kingdom was translated to the Medo Persians, and we was able to be free. And we migrated and came back down to Jerusalem, and we were able to start building or reconstructing the ruins of the temple. All right, this is Hosea 1 and verse I'll start at verse 5. It says, and it shall come to pass at that day, and this is when the Lord commanded prophet Hosea to basically go into a prostitute and marry her and have children, which she had two. But we know this was also symbolic of Israel's harlotry, or Israel playing the whore, and the Lord basically taking his mercy from them and basically casting them out of his sight. So that's what this also represents. But the Lord ultimately is going to have mercy upon us, and he's doing that through Yahweh sacrifice. Well, now we're reconciled back to him, and now we have peace with the Lord through Yahweh. So this is Hosea 1, verse 5. It says, and it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. And she conceived again and bare a daughter, and the Most High Power said unto him, call her name La Ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah. And he ended up saving the tents of Judah first, right? And will save them by the Lord their power, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. And Lord had the power to do that, man. The hell is a freaking gun gonna do for you? All right. So that's, I mean, that's you know plain in itself. And let's real quick go to the cross references, because I know there's other scriptures. Okay, this Psalms 33, I read that. Psalms 44, I read that. Let me see. Oh, matter of fact, let me read that account in Isaiah, because going back to the angels, going out before us. We know when the king of Syria tried to come for us, an angel came out and showed out just to protect the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this the kind of the army that's with us. Isaiah 37 and 30. I'll start at verse 32. It says, for out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city, to save it for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake, that he's going to defend us, right? Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 180,500. That's 185,000 soldiers. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. All right. So that's an example, man, how he would defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Would be as an angel of the Lord before them. Okay. So matter of fact, let's go to the Apocrypha. We're gonna go to Second Maccabees, the 15th chapter. Yeah, Second Maccabees 15, and I'm gonna start at 6, and it says, so Nicanor, in exceeding pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with them. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. And that confidence, man, which you have to have faith to have this kind of confidence. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven. And I just read a few examples. And now to expect the victory and aid, the help, which should come unto them from the Almighty. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore, he made them more cheerful. So these that's why it says, therefore what is written aforetime is written for our learning, that through patience and faith we might have hope. So it comforts us to know that we have this kind of divine presence that's always been around. It's just that we've been downtrodden because the Most High has been that angry with us, man. He said, "Mama, even if uh Noah and was it Job? I think if and Samuel, if they were to stand by me, I still wouldn't look towards these people, man. Though they stood before me, my heart, my mind, my eyes couldn't be towards this people. Jake is they out of there right now. So right now the Lord is only concerned with his chosen. So he's gonna show this level of power, but only for his chosen. 2/3 can have their way with him. The Lord's gonna give this devil charge over the 2/3, and they gonna slaughter these niggas, man. They're not gonna get this aid. They're not gonna get the victory. They're not gonna expect that. They trust in the shadow of Egypt. So therefore, Pharaoh is gonna be their shame because he's gonna get taken down out of power too. All right. And last but not least, let's go real quick to how Yahweh Shai is coming, because ultimately Yahweh Shai, he said vengeance is his, which really that was the Most High, but the Lord's going to get vengeance upon these heathen through his son Yahweh Shai. The Lord said, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord, man. So let's get Second Ezra 13, and then we're going to go down to let me see. Yep. All right. This is I'm gonna start at verse I'm gonna start at verse 25. It says, Second Ezra 13, verse 25. It says, this is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom the Most High, the highest, have kept a great season. which by his own self shall deliver his creature and shall order them that are left behind. All right, dealing with Yahushai. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm that came out of his mouth. It tells you that in Isaiah 11, and it says, Isaiah 11, and we know this is talking about Yahushai. I'll start at the top. It says, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Yahushai, being the offspring and root of David. And the spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, in the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And he's gonna destroy them by the brightness of his coming, as it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. All right. And right now the earth is being smitten by the word. And that's why, these people are offended. They're ready to demonize this truth. All right. This word cut is more sharper than any two-edged sword. Is more powerful. It's quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. All right. But the Lord's gonna actually come back, and he's gonna really do some slaying. So going back here, it says, verse 28, it says, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, because he doesn't need to. His divine presence is going to be powerful enough. When it was prophesied about the daughter of Babylon, or Babylon the Great, being brought down, the Lord exposing this place, he said, I will not meet thee as a man. Now this is going to be the Lord from heaven coming down in his glory. So he ain't coming strapped. Get the strap. He's gonna have the angels come down with they mounted weapons. Nah, man. There's no weapons mounted on the chariots, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. These people are going to be amazed when they see him. And they're going to be puzzled with fear. They're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, because we're going to be getting beamed up and delivered. All right. And everybody's going to see it. Every eye shall see him and shall wail because of him, even they which pierced him. So the world's going to be startled, man. But the Lord's going to deliver us without any weapon of war. And we're going to be saved without needing any weapons of war. And that's the point. So, like I said, what's more powerful? Now, I don't expect Sakari and them to, give a genuine answer about that, because these dudes are real carnal, man. But hey, they play in their lot, man. But this is just for edification, and this is just to give you the correct um perspective. Setting your mind right. You're getting that spirit of I gotta stay strapped. I gotta keep it on me at all times, man. What you afraid of? Who you want to run from? Jake wearing bulletproof vests and all that stuff, man. You're frightened. So anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to, just go into that, and that's pretty much the lesson. And may you brothers and you few sisters, stay prayed up. and pray that the Lord, keep you, protected, man. Hey, Satar Nawa, Mayan, Wa Rechayim Rai, protect us from evil and from evil spirits. Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Bashem Rechak double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shabbat Shalom.